Hello, my name is Tom Ferber. I'm a member of the Eagan Funfest Ambassador Committee. The Funfest ambassadors serve as youth representatives of the Eagan community and their host organization, Eagan's July 4th Funfest. The ambassador program is for youth ages 10 to 19 who are interested in participating in leadership, volunteerism, community interaction, and public appearance activities. Beginning in May, the candidates participate in a series of judged events leading up to Eagan's July 4th Funfest. 6 of the candidates are then selected to serve as ambassadors for the upcoming year. Today, the 2014-2015 ambassadors will share their perspectives about the candidate process and their experiences serving as Funfest ambassadors. So let's begin by having them introduce themselves.
Hello, my name is Hannah Olson. I am 11 years old, I attend Blackhawk Middle School, and my sponsor is Cornerstone Family Chiropractic.
Hello, my name is Maya Eisenberg. I am 11 years old, I attend Blackhawk Middle School, and my sponsor is Lone Oak Market.
Hello, my name is Peyton Greenlee. I'm 11 years old, I go to Blackhawk Middle School, and my sponsor is Treasures Galore, the indoor garage sale store.
Now let's talk a little bit about the ambassador candidate process. One of the things we did is have a candidate family potluck picnic. What was the dish you brought and why did you choose it?
I brought lefse to the family potluck because lefse is a Swedish tradition in my family, and my grandma makes it every Thanksgiving and Christmas, and it's just a tradition.
I brought Rice Krispie bars because I make them all the time with my grandma, and it's just something that we do together, and it's really special to me.
So I brought pudding in a cone with whipped cream and sprinkles because I like to go camping a lot with the Girl Scouts, and that's what we usually make, and I made a mess of myself, so.
Do you recall Meet the Candidate Night when you came and met the Funfest Planning Committee? What did you do on that night?
I wore a dance outfit from the show that was coming up shortly after the Meet the Candidates event, because I'm very involved in theater and dance, and I thought it just represented me well.
I wore one of my softball outfits, and because I'm very involved in sports, I do softball, basketball, swimming, and gymnastics, and then I wore a visor that I got in Florida, signed by Tinkerbell, so it just represented my love for traveling.
I wore my leotard for gymnastics because I love gymnastics. I wore my Girl Scout vest because I'm really involved in Girl Scouts. I wore my wig because I danced at that time, and I was a old grandma hobbit. And me and Hannah were in the same thing, so.
During the process, you were interviewed by a panel of judges. How did you feel about the candidate interview process?
I think that the interview process was not very nerve-wracking for me because I think the judges were very kind, and they pretty much understood what I was going through. I was nervous before I got in the room, but after I got in, I felt pretty calm.
Yeah, it was the same with me. Like before, I was like, it's going to be fine, but when you walk in and you see the judges just sitting there, it's kind of intimidating, but once you start talking, it's really easy and you just have to answer their questions, and it's really nice.
I think it was really fun because I got to go in and I got to talk, and they asked me questions about myself, which I know really good because I'm myself. And I made them laugh a couple times, and I think that was fun, and just to see them laughing, and they're really nice, and it was fun.
As candidates, you were able to, for the first time, participate in a parade at the Strawberry Festival. What did you think about doing that?
Well, I've always loved parades because I like to see all the little kids on the side of the road picking up the candy and looking and pointing at us saying, "Ooh, look at the princesses." I think that's my favorite part about parades.
Yeah, it was especially like what Hannah said is the little kids just like looking up at us on our big float and watching us waving, and then the ambassadors behind us waving at them too, and it was just a great experience for all of us.
I think it was really fun and awesome because I was actually in a lot of parades because I was born on the 4th of July. So it wasn't my first, but it was probably the funnest parade I've ever been in.
Great. In preparation for coronation, there's a practice before that. Why do you need to practice for a coronation?
Well, I think it's important to practice so that you don't trip and fall on the stage, which would not be good. Thankfully, that didn't happen. And I think it's also important to practice because you have a fishbowl question during the coronation, and it's kind of nerve-wracking because you don't know what the question is. So it's good to practice with some sample questions to kind of get prepared.
Yeah, it's kind of the same thing Hannah said, like with the heels we're wearing. Some of us have like 4-inch heels, and so tripping on the stage and falling would not be fun, especially on coronation night. So practicing on the stage was super helpful. And then same with the fishbowl questions. It's like you never know what you're going to get, and it's great to practice beforehand.
When I practiced, I think it really helped me because it wasn't my first time on the stage, but it was really helpful because like Maya and Hannah said, you don't want to trip, and you want to look good and know where to stand so you're not staying in the wrong place so they can't see you.
What did your friends and family think about you being an ambassador?
My friends and family were very supportive of me, and I appreciate that so much. My mom and dad drive me to all the events, and my brother is always so supportive. He makes sure that he doesn't get in my way while I'm getting ready, because that does not want to happen. Does not want that to happen.
Yeah, my little sister on coronation night, my uncle took this picture of her where she's like staring up at my crown and I'm just like smiling. And he's a photographer, so it's easy for him to do that. And she was really excited for me. She wants to be an ambassador next year, but I don't know if my parents will let her just because of all the traveling and stuff. But she's probably going to do it in a couple years, and she's really excited for that because she sees how much fun I'm having, and it's great.
My family and friends were really supportive. A couple of my friends said they wanted to be an ambassador because I was an ambassador, and they said it'd be really fun. And my family, my sister, she was actually kind of sad because I got the crown and she wanted to wear it when I got home, but I told her she couldn't because I felt like she was going to break it, but she probably wouldn't. And then my brothers, they're older, but they were really supportive. My brothers, they gave me hugs, and my mom and dad, they drive me whenever they can, and they're super supportive. And my grandma and grandpa are there, so.
What would you guys tell someone considering being a candidate to be an ambassador?
Like I told my friend Leah, I think it's an amazing program, and there's so many new opportunities that it's just so hard to pass up on some of them, which I kind of do sometimes because I have other commitments, but I think that I would tell them that it's a great learning opportunity.
Yeah, it's the same thing. You can do other things, like I do softball and basketball during the ambassador program, and I'm able to go to those and not be stuck going to ambassador events like every other day. It's nicely spaced out, and it's a great opportunity, and I would just tell them it's really fun. You get to know people, and it's people who are older than you, because we've got the 3 other older ambassadors, and it's just a great experience to socialize and interact with other people.
I would tell them it's great to be there, and it's a great experience because you get to go new places, you get to meet new people. I've made 5 new friends this year, and maybe more. So you get to meet people that you've never known, and you get to make new friends.
As being an ambassador, what was the most fun thing that you remember doing during the time you've been an ambassador?
Oh, that's a really hard question because there's so many events that we've done, and I don't think I could choose one, but I think overall the parades, just in general, were the most fun because, like I said earlier, I like to see the little kids on the edge of the street just like staring up at us in awe.
I actually like the daddy-daughter dance at the Eagan Community Center the best, just because they were all the little girls who all wanted to dance with us, and we let them dance with their dads a couple times for all the slow dances, which I thought was adorable. And then it was just fun because Reese took pictures of the dads and the daughters. Reese is one of our other ambassadors, and then Avery and Carrie, they helped with the crafts, and it was just a great night, and it was really well attended.
My favorite place was the daddy-daughter dance. It was super cute to see the dads and the girls just dancing with their dads, and then they came. Some of them were shy at first, but then they started to get to know us, and they'd like to dance with us. And like Maya said, we let them dance with their dads, and it was cool because Maya, Carrie, and Avery got to do their own thing, and we got to dance with the girls, and the food was like great.
During the time you're an ambassador, you do a lot of volunteer work with different activities. What can you tell me about what your favorite one was and what you did?
I think that my favorite volunteer event was the Empty Bowl soup dinner at St. John Newman Catholic Church. I think this was a fun event because we got to help people who maybe didn't have enough food, and we knew that people were donating to the Empty Bowl, which is the food shelf in Eagan. And I think it was also a great event because it was at the church that I attend, so I saw a lot of friendly faces.
Aya?
One of my favorite volunteer events was when we went to Holtz Farm for Lone Oak Days. They had a bunch of volunteer events for, we volunteered there, and then they had a bunch of activities for the younger children, and then there were horses there, and I helped with those. And it was really fun because you're helping the community, and then you're giving back, and it's just great.
I was only at Lone Oak once, but it was super amazing. I got to see and help with all the pony rides, and I got to give some amazing tractor sort of rides, and we got to work with the kids, and it was super fun.
We'll be right back after this message.
ETV, Eagan Television, is your source for everything local in Eagan. From local high school sports to local government, community events, concerts, profiles and stories of your friends and neighbors. For a list of ETV channels and how you can get involved with Eagan Television and make your very own show, log on to www.eagan-tv.com or call 651-848-4698.
We're back. Let's meet our other ambassadors. Carrie?
Hi, my name is Carrie Giles. I'm 17 and I attend Eagan High School. My sponsor is Eagan Orthodontic Specialists.
Hi, my name is Reese Peters. I'm 14 years old. I currently attend Eagan High School, and my sponsor is Great Clips.
Hi, I'm Avery Ward. I'm 15 years old, and I attend Eagan High School, and my sponsor is Eagan Family Dentistry.
We have a candidate family potluck picnic as one of the first activities. What dish did you bring and why did you choose it?
So what I brought fruit pizza. And if you don't know what that is, it's a sugar cookie crust and then fruit on top with a frosting for the sauce. And I brought that because I'm on the Eagan dance team, or I was. I'm now a senior, so I'm done. That was our favorite dessert on the team. We'd bring it to all of our team dinners because we weren't allowed to eat sweets, so we brought that instead.
So what I brought to the potluck was I brought an Oreo crunch pie, and the reason why I brought that was because it was like my tradition at all of our family gatherings. All of my family would look forward to me making the pie for dessert, and everyone always looked forward to it.
I brought deviled eggs because no picnic is complete without deviled eggs.
On Meet the Candidate Night, you came to a planning meeting for the July 4th Fun Fest. What did you come dressed as, and explain what you did?
So what happened was we went into the board meeting and we introduced ourselves, and it was a judged event. And what I ended up wearing was I wore my track shoes because I run track in the spring. And then I wore my dance team, I believe it was a t-shirt I wore because I'm on the Eagan dance team. And then I wore my Letterman jacket because it kind of represents everything I've done in high school.
So what I did at the Meet the Candidate Night was I wore my 8th grade web shirt, which is leading a group of 6th graders through middle school for the first time. I also wore my Destination Imagination lanyard, which I got at the recent Globals I just attended, which is a big part of what I did before then. I'm done now. And I also wore a hat that represented my want to travel.
I wore my volleyball knee pads because I play volleyball, and I also wore my favorite pair of shoes, which are Converse, and a necklace, which was an airplane because I love to travel. And I was the first person to speak in front of the board, and that was really scary because I had no idea what I was going to do, and it was my first time being judged by the judges and speaking in front of a whole group of people, and I didn't know.
Later on, you had an interview with the judges. Tell us a little bit about how you felt or how you going through that process.
So I was one of the older candidates, so they weren't so nice to us because they knew that we could get hit with a lot of harder questions and we would be able to think on our toes a little bit. So I was nervous when I went in, but they made it very, very fun. It was like having a conversation with some friends or just any friends at all. It was really fun. But they kept hitting us with questions because we were older, like, what's your future job plans? Where are you going to go to college? Kind of that kind of stuff. So it was fun, but it was hard, too, for us.
So what my experience with the interview was beforehand, I was very nervous. I didn't know what I was walking into, but as soon as you entered, you could tell that this was an environment designed to make you feel more comfortable. All the judges were very nice, very caring, and as Carrie said, the questions were ramping in difficulty for some of the higher grade levels. They didn't ask me where I was planning on going to college, as I'm only a freshman, but I do remember some pretty tricky questions.
The interview process was very fun. They laughed at everything I said, even if it wasn't a joke. And they were easy questions, in my opinion. And I just had a lot of fun there, and it wasn't nerve-wracking at all. They were all very kind.
All of this candidate process culminates in a coronation night where the ambassadors are selected. Tell us a little bit about that night and how you felt.
So coronation night was a really fun night. It was also a very scary night because it's kind of the big event. You get to find out if you made it or not and if you are going to continue for the entire year. But it was really fun. They have you walk on stage and you get to introduce yourselves, and probably the hardest part was the fishbowl. But even the fishbowl questions are questions that are really fun to answer. So it's just a really fun night to be involved with, and hopefully you get to continue with your year because it's a fun year.
So during the coronation event, there were almost all the other royalty that you could see there. It was our very first coronation. It was an extreme joy to watch all the other ambassadors talk about their year, see their goodbye speeches, say their farewells, and it really made me want to do the program even more. And once you're up on stage doing the fishbowl, you really just feel a sense of warmth from the audience. Like you're doing a good thing right now, even if you don't make it. And it really is quite a fun experience.
Coronation night was a lot of fun, and it was like the first little taste you have of what it was like to be an ambassador, with like meeting all the other royalty and talking on stage and like conversing with people and wearing fancy dresses.
What would you guys tell someone considering being an ambassador candidate?
So the first thing I'd tell you would be to smile and take a deep breath, because it's not as scary as people think it is. It's not a place where people are going to judge you on your actions or what you look like. It's more they're wanting to see the person that you are, which makes it really, really fun because they just want to see who you are. And then I'd also say, if you don't end up making it, it's okay, because sometimes there's just going to be a year where you aren't social enough, you're not able to come out of your shell as much. I actually had to try 3 times, because I tried when I was younger and I was really shy and I didn't talk very much. And that's why I didn't make it. But I tried again when I was older, and I actually ended up really enjoying my year. So try again if you don't make it, because it's a great experience.
My advice for any candidate that would come into the event is don't be shy. You only have a month to leave your impression on these judges, and it really matters in the end. It really is an amazing experience. It's been a lot of fun. It is a great honor to be an ambassador for Eagan, and let your personality show. Don't be nervous, don't be shy, take a deep breath, be calm, and just have fun is really the big thing. And then that's what I'd say.
My advice for candidates would be to let your personality show through, which is what Reese just said, and just have fun and do your best.
Okay. What is something you had to learn to overcome, or the hardest thing you've done as an ambassador?
So the hardest thing that I've had to do is, since I'm the oldest and I'm also the youngest in my family, so it was really hard, I had to become a leader to 5 other younger people. And that was hard for me at first because I'm the baby of the family, so I usually follow other people, but I had to lead these young guys around everywhere. And also I had to learn how to introduce myself and the entire group because I was the oldest. So public speaking was a big thing for me to overcome.
One thing that I had to overcome is my social shell. And what I mean by a social shell is that I could talk with people I knew, I could speak to small groups of people, but I had to overcome a sort of a fear to talking to other strangers and people out in public and smiling and greeting them with joy. And it really, really, the ambassador program and the candidate program really helped me come out of this social shell. And that's one thing that I had to endure.
The hardest thing for me to overcome was just walking up to a stranger and introducing yourself and starting a conversation and then getting to know that person. When you didn't know them 5 minutes before, and then becoming friends. But that was really difficult for me in the beginning because, like them, I'm a shy person.
Tell me about one of your favorite moments that you shared together as ambassadors with your fellow ambassadors.
I would say one of my favorite ones was one of our first coronations we went to as ambassadors, which I believe was the Raspberry Fest over in Hopkins. And it was our first event all together in our formal wear. I remember we all went together, and first we were really shy because we had just been crowned a week or 2 before. So we didn't really talk all that much in the beginning. But by the end of the night, they ended up having a DJ there, and we were dancing together. We were having fun. We actually made Reese do the musical chairs with the Miss Congenialities. He was the only guy. It was a really fun night.
I'd say one experience that I really liked and shared with the rest of the ambassadors, even though some of them weren't there for the event. I believe it was Lone Oak Days in Holtz Farm during the winter, and it was snowing, and it was almost hailing even, and it was so much fun just to be in the cold and just warm up and tell stories about unicorns and narwhals. I think we did. And it was just a blast, and it was really fun just seeing all the people heading into Holtz Farm, and it was amazing.
One of my favorite things was Eagan 4th of July Funfest parade, bonding with the other ambassadors or would-be ambassadors, because before the parade, when we were getting ready, they were singing and doing cartwheels, and I just got to see all their personalities and what fun it would be to be with them in the year to come.
Well, I think that kind of wraps it up. We hope that the ambassadors have answered some of the questions you might have had about becoming a Funfest ambassador. We encourage both young men and young women to participate in the program, As you can tell, they enjoyed it a lot and learned a lot and have grown through that process. For more information, we invite you to visit our website at www.eaganfunfest.org. Parents and potential candidates should also look to attend our informational meeting, which we're going to have on Wednesday, May 13th at 7 p.m. at the Commons on Maurice. So we invite you to join us at Eagan's July 4th Funfest celebration, July 3rd and 4th this year. It's a great fun. It's at the Central Park here in Eagan. And our ambassador coronation will be on Monday, July 6th at the Community Center. We hope you will participate and we hope to see you there. Thank you.